Oh, Wiggins had Chinese food. Wiggins had Chinese food. You had Golden Crust the other day. Then you had McDonald's. Like, Wiggins is eating. You sitting here eating. You eating without me. Like, I don't understand.
Everybody has their opinions, but it don't really matter though. You see, I'm the artist who's standing in front of the canvas. You see the paint splatter on.
What's good? Candy Cane Gang. Gang, gang, gang. It's your girl Kane. What's good, y'all? What's poppin'? What's cracking? How you doing? How you been? It's another story time. This story time is from the Richard era, per request. I don't really do too many story times about Richard because I cannot stand this motherfucker. Just as much as I can't stand Josh. I don't like that no more. But yeah, this one most definitely. But this story time takes place in the state of New York, Brooklyn, New York, Crown Heights. None of the names used in this story time belongs to any of these people. Their names are being changed to protect their privacy. Their names are being changed to protect the privacy of the trifling and not the innocent. Me and Richard, I told y'all I met Richard when I was very, very young. 17, 18. I got into this relationship with this man. Y'all already know. If you don't know who Richard is and you are new to this channel, you have to go back into these videos. The Condom Bandit, the Stalker for 8 years. These is all the Richard story times, okay? So I wasn't sure if I ever told this story. I told you that Richard was working at this stink-ass store in Brownsville in Brooklyn. And I'm not saying it's stink to be funny. Like, it literally was a stinking ass store. The whole time that Richard was working there, Richard was working towards getting a car. One day, y'all know it's always one motherfucking day, Richard texts my phone and asks, yo, are you home? So I'm like, yeah, I'm home. I'm going to be going out real soon. Why? What's up? So Richard is just like, I'm going to pull up to your house in a little while. I want to show you something. So I'm like, all right. So I'm sitting and I'm waiting. Finally, Richard calls. So I'm like, hello. He's like,
Hey, you on my side. Come outside real quick. Real quick.
so I'm like, okay. I gets up and I goes to the door because I was already dressed and everything. And I leaves out. So once I get outside, I'm looking. I don't see him. I'm looking for him. I'm looking for Richard, okay? Because he didn't have a car. He didn't have a bike, nothing. I'm looking for him. I'm just looking like, no Richard. So I sends a text and like, where are you? I'm outside. I don't see you. So there's this car that's sitting directly in front of the building, like in front of the fire hydrant. It's a black Toyota Camry, tinted windows, big rims. So the window on the passenger side rolls down, and I happen to look like, and he's like,
What's up, Wigga? It's me. Come here. Get in.
so I'm like, this motherfucker ain't got a car. So y'all, I walks over to the car. I'm walking over really slow though. And I just bend down. Like, I got my arms folded and I just bend down. I'm like, you got a car?
Like, yeah, today, and I went and got this car. Yeah, like, what you want to do today? You want to go out? You want to go out to eat? Like, you want to go shopping? What do you want to do?
So I'm like, I didn't know what to do. Like, I'm like, wow, like, okay, my wigger has a car. Okay, now I don't have to be taking MTA no more. I don't have to take the bus. I don't have to take the cabs service no more. So I'm just like, okay, well, congratulations. This is what's up. This is dope. Like, I'm excited in the inside, but I'm not showing it, okay? Like, I'm not really like, oh my God, you got a fucking car? This is what's up. You got a motherfucking car. We're gonna go over there, we're gonna go over there. I wasn't doing that. I was just like, all right, this is what's up, congratulations. All right. I see you, my wigger, I see you.
Yeah, let's go. You want to go eat at?
So I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, let me go get my purse. I get my purse. I get into the car and we leave. So I'm just like, yeah, where did you get this car from?
Oh, a friend of mine, they was selling their car. So, I told them to hold it down for me until I get the money and I had the bread, I bought the car.
I'm like, oh, that's what's up. Man, I wish I had friends like that. So y'all, I gotta fast forward early into the story because this is crazy. Now, yes, we did go out to eat. We went out to eat. We went to, I think it was the Olive Garden. This is when I didn't like the Olive Garden. I don't know why he chose to go there. He knew that I hated the Olive Garden, but that's where we went. So we go to the Olive Garden, eat the nasty ass food up in there. he brings me back home because all of a sudden his grandmother needs to go grocery shopping. Okay, so he brings me back home. He's like,
Yeah, I'm gonna come back tonight. I'm gonna spend the night over here, so I can just go ahead and drive up to work. I probably will walk to work and just leave the car parked here. You know, if you want to use it.
this, that, and the third, a bunch of lies like he always do. So I'm like, all right, cool. So Richard leaves. Before Richard had this car, Richard would be on my phone from sun up to sun motherfucking down, okay? But when he got this car, I didn't hear from him. I didn't see him. Just no Richard. Richard was disappeared, gone with the motherfucking wind. I think it's like maybe a Friday or Saturday. I know it was going into the week. I'm going to do my pampering, okay? I would do pampering days for myself on the weekends. I would get my hair done. You know, I was wearing a lot of sew-ins before the wigs. So I was just buying bundles and getting my hair sewed in. Okay, I'm getting my toes done. I'm getting my nails done. Or I would go and buy me an outfit or a pair of sneakers. This was every weekend, y'all. Okay, I would take myself. It was Pamper Cane Day. So I'm just on my way to get my hair done from one of my homegirls, and I happened to see somebody that I had went to school with. So I'm inside this beauty supply store. I'm getting, you know, the bundles of hair that I needed. I'm buying this hair, and I end up seeing somebody I went to high school with inside this store. So she's like,
oh, what's up, Kane? Oh my God, like I ain't seen you in mad long. Like, where you been at? What's going on with you?
So I'm like, nothing, you know, just getting me some bundles so I can get my hair done. Like, what's going on with you? How's the family? How's your brother? Because y'all, I used to have a crush on Lorenz Tate. I still do. And her brother looks exactly like Lorenz Tate. Not that I would date her brother. I'm just saying, okay? I just, sometimes I used to just sit and stare at him because he looked exactly like Lorenz Tate. Okay, so back to the story. So I'm just like, you know, how's your brother doing? Like, where's your brother at?
Oh, he moved to Philly. Like, you know, he's up there in Philly. My other brothers, sometimes they come down or whatever. Sometimes he's here and he spends a weekend or whatever. But yeah, so you know, but I'm still living, you know, over in the projects. I'm still over there in the same apartment. I'm working. I'm doing this. I'm doing that.
Like, she's just giving me a whole little rundown of everything that's going on with her. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool.
You know, one of my sisters, she had 2 wiggers, and one of the wiggers, they was unalived.
So I'm just like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, you know, so she's dealing with that right now. She's doing better. This was like maybe a year ago, but she's doing better now. She's slowly getting over it.
So I'm like, okay, well, you know, give her my condolences and, you know, send my love to her. Before I leave this store, y'all, this friend, let's just call her Jenny. So before I leave the store, Jenny is like,
yeah, my sister with the other wigger, they're currently engaged. They're gonna get married. They sold their house and they sold a car. The car belonged to her other wigger.
So I'm like, oh, okay. So where they moving to Philly too?
Probably so, either Staten Island.
So I'm like, all right, cool. That's cool. So we leaving out the store together, and we end up exchanging phone numbers, y'all. And then I go my way, and Jenny goes her way. Now, y'all, keep that whole incident in your fucking suitcase, okay? So I go to my friend, the girl that's gonna do my hair. I go there, and she's braiding my hair so she can sew this hair in. I get the text from Richard. The text says, "What you doing?" So I'm like, "I'm getting my hair done." He's like, "Oh, okay. How long is that gonna take?" I don't know. I'm getting it sewing. It's normally like an hour to 2 hours, depending. Like if we take breaks, if we just chilling and talking, it depends. He's like, "Well, can she just do your hair straight through, and then can you be done in an hour because I want to take you out somewhere?" So I'm like, I'm not rushing this girl to do my hair because I need my hair done correctly. I need it laid. He's like, all right, just call me when you're done. So I'm like, all right, cool. Finally, my friend, she was done with my hair. She got my hair together, and I was laced. My hair was laced. I was looking good, okay? I had the jet black bust down sewing. So I'm like, you know, thank you, girl. Yes. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Yes. This is what I'm talking about. Yes. So I pays her and I leave. Now I'm heading to go get my nails and my toes done. I'm not thinking about Richard and his bullshit, okay? Because Richard, y'all already know Richard was a narcissist and a gaslighter. He was just very controlling too.
I say be over here at 6 o'clock. Be here at 6 o'clock. Why you not here?
You know, it would be like that. So I go to get my nails done. I go to get my toes done. After that, I goes to Golden Crust. I gets me 2 vegetable patties, one with cocoa bread, one without, and I got me a soda. Goes home. When I get home, I'm sitting down, I'm eating this beef patty and this cocoa bread. I'm busting this food down, okay? Scarfing this food down, scarfing this soda down. Richard calls my phone. So I'm like, hello? He's like,
You can't be still doing your hair. Like, it's like literally like 4 hours now.
nah, I'm home.
Why didn't you even call me and tell me that you was done with your hair? Like, I told you to call me when you're done getting your hair done.
So I'm like, oh, I forgot. I didn't forget. It's just that who the do you think you are to be rushing me out of the out of the hair salon, rushing me out of the nail salon? Like I told you, you know my routine every weekend of what I'm doing. So I'm just like, I'm at the house. Like you act like you can't drive to the house and come get me from there.
Yo, you just taking me out of my way. Like, I told you, because where you get your hair done, that's close to where I wanted to take you.
Like all this bullshit, y'all. So I'm like, all right, well, you can take me a different day. You can take me tomorrow if that's the case. If it's such a big thing. So he ends up coming to my house, y'all. Remember I told you I was eating the beef patty, the beef patty with the cocoa bread and the soda. Once I was done, like a normal human being, I threw all of the items that I was done with into the garbage. He comes in and he goes straight to the kitchen, y'all. He goes straight to the kitchen. And I hear like plastic rattling. So I gets up and I goes to the kitchen door and I see the trash can flap. Because I had the trash can where you press with your foot, like you press the button and the garbage can lid will open up. I see the lid close down really quick and he turns around and he's like,
So,
I'm like, what are you doing?
I was throwing something in the garbage.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, I guess our day is ruined.
So I'm like, how's the day ruined? It's not ruined. I told you to pick me up. My hair is done, toes done, nails done, everything did. I'm ready to go hang out.
I don't know. I changed my mind. I don't want to go. I don't want to go.
So I'm like, all right, fine. We don't have to go. What did you come in here with that you was throwing in the garbage? Because, y'all, I goes back into the kitchen. I'm looking in the trash. I don't see anything in this garbage that he could have thrown in there. So he sits down at my little dining table set that I had. Because, I told you I had this little ass studio apartment. Everything is right there. So he sits down at the dining room table and he's like,
well, I mean, like I said, the day is done with. The day is ruined. You ruined the whole fucking day because you wanted to go outside, get your little toes and nails and get your little hair put on. And then you go and you went and eat. Like, this is the shit I'm talking about. Like, you went and ate without me.
So I'm like, yeah, because I was hungry. 4 hours. I was outside for 4 hours. I didn't have breakfast. I didn't have lunch. I went to my hair appointment. I went to get my nails and my toes done. And after that, I got me a little snack or something to eat. Like, it's dinner time coming up. How is the day ruined? We still can go on this date.
Never mind. I don't want to go. Like, just forget it. Like, it don't make no sense. You ate the food without me. You ate without me.
This all he kept saying, y'all. I'm like, all right, fine. You can leave. You can go. There's no need for you to be here if you're going to be sitting here with this type of energy. So he gets up and leaves. Let's go ahead and fast forward. He sends a text to my phone and he's like, I just got pulled over. Shaking my head. This is all your fault. How is it my fault that you got pulled over? Like, I'm not in the car with you. You left my house 10 minutes ago. I'm completely lost as to how it's my fault that you got pulled over. Make it make sense. This is what I asked him in the text too. He's like, if I would have picked you up from the hair salon over there and we would have went on our fucking date, none of this would have happened. I would have had to drive to Crown Heights. You know how Utica Avenue is, this, that, and the third. So I'm like, okay, and you know how Utica Avenue is too. Why would you even drive down Utica? If Utica Avenue is so bad and you know how Utica Avenue is, make that make sense, okay? So he gets mad. He stops texting. Now he has blamed me for the little ticket that he got. So y'all, the whole time that Richard had this car, this little black Toyota Camry, it was a lot of happening with this car. It's like every single day, all day long, something bad was going on with Richard and with this car. One day, Richard picks me up. Texts my phone. He's like, I'm outside. I goes outside. I comes out. gets into this car, and I'm like, where we going? He's
Like, oh, I gotta go to court. I gotta go pay this ticket.
he had a whole bunch of things he had to do. We gets to this courthouse. He's
like, do you mind sitting outside in the car so I don't have to pay, like parking? If anybody comes, you can just move the car.
I'm like, all right, go ahead. So I get up, I go sit in the driver's seat. I was sitting in this car, y'all, for a long ass time, okay? I don't have patience. Anything past 5 minutes is too long for me, literally, okay? 5 minutes is even too long. So it's probably like maybe 15 minutes that Richard has been inside this little courthouse thing or whatever. So I'm texting his phone like, what's going on? Is everything all right? Richard's not answering. So I'm like, yo, like, what the fuck is going on? Finally, Richard comes out, and it's hotish outside this day too. Richard comes outside, comes walking across the street, and I just get up and like I slid over in the seat. I didn't get out. I just slid over. So he gets in and he's like,
yeah, I just paid that ticket. Now it's some other shit going on with the registration.
He couldn't put the car in his name because something with the title. So I'm just like, okay, so just call your friend and tell your friend that you need them to like redo the title. Like I need to buy a new title, whatever the case may be. So Richard is like,
yeah, I'm gonna hit them up and see, if they're able to do it. If not, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
So y'all, Richard takes me home. I showers, I already ate. I get to the bed, me and Sassy, we watching TV, we vibing. I get a text message from Richard's cousin. Richard's cousin says, you know that Richard was in an accident. So I'm like, an accident? What type of accident? She's like, he was in a car accident. So I'm like, no, I didn't know that. Like, I'm home. She's like, yeah. And it happened maybe like 20 minutes after he dropped you off. So I'm like, well, where's Richard at right now? Is he okay? So she's like, yeah, he's at the hospital. They just like examining him to make sure he's good. So she's like, I just wanted to see like if you knew about it. If you didn't, like I'm just letting you know. So I'm like, all right, thank you. Can I call his phone? She's like, yeah. So I calls his phone, whatever, and he answers the phone. He sounds perfectly fine. So I'm like, what's going on? He's like,
I got into this accident. Like I kind of sideswiped the wall on the highway on my way home.
So I'm like, how did you do that?
I don't know. Like the car just kind of shifted. Like something was just going wrong with the car.
So I'm like, wow, well, I'm glad you're all right.
Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna keep you posted or whatever.
And he says, I love you. I'm like, all right, I love you too. And we hang up. So I'm just laying there. I'm like, damn, like every time Richard leaves from me, something goes wrong with this car. So y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward. This is probably like 3 days after the whole accident incident that he was in. I see the car. The car's like, the front light is smashed out and the car's like dented really bad and like scratched all the way across. So what the story he told me actually added up with how the body of the car looked. So I was just like, did you fall asleep? Was you drinking or anything like that?
No, like I don't know what happened. I don't know. I'm not sure. So
I'm just like, that's really, really strange. He goes on to say that the hood of the car was not. It was fucked up. Like the latch was broken. That had stopped locking and everything. So I'm like, so how was the hood connected? Like, how did you do it?
I got wire, like, I took a wire hanger and I just wrapped it around really tight. And then I got these tweezers right here.
This car was literally breaking down, okay, in less than 30 days. So I'm just like, damn, like, so are you going to take it, like, to get looked at, or?
Yeah, it's just like, I can't really do much because the title with the car, then my car insurance, this, that.
I thought you said you was going to hit your friend up to tell your friend to redo something with the title. So he says,
well, I called her and she's not answering her phone, like she's acting weird and shit. I don't know.
So I'm like, her. Now, don't get me wrong, because Richard never said if it was a man or a woman. He just said his homie. That's what he said, his friend, my homie.
It's like, yes, it's a girl. It's a homegirl of mine that I know. And I bought this car. She used to drive the car.
This is what he said. So I'm like, all right, so why is she not answering the phone? Like, do you know where she live at? Where did you buy the car? When you bought this car, you gave her the cash and y'all exchanged the keys or whatever. Where was the car sitting at?
Oh, the car was at her house.
I'm like, all right, so what's the problem with going to her house to get the car? like, you know, to get the new title for this car.
Like that's what I'm trying to call her, whatever, but she not answering the phone.
I'm like, I don't know, this is not adding up to me. Why are we talking about this, y'all? Richard is like,
I gotta get gas. I ran out of gas. I gotta get an oil change.
he has to get all this stuff done to this car. So we goes to Eastern New York, okay, and it's this big ass place. It's like a car wash. They do like oil change, they do car wash, and then there's a gas station across the street. I don't know if this place is still there, okay? But at this time, this is where we went. We goes there, they do his little oil change, something else with whatever needs to be done to the car. They do that, and then we go across the street and we get gas, okay? Now, I don't know what's wrong with this man's car besides what I can visually see. And that is the front light is busted out, and the side of the car, my side, the passenger side, is dented the fuck out in the front all the way to the side, okay? So my door was like dented in, but it still can open and close, okay? And the paint was scratched up. I don't know what's wrong with this car. Keep this in mind. So we go to the gas station, he gets the gas, we leave from the gas station, and we're getting onto this little overpass that takes you back to Brownsville. I can't remember the name of this shit, okay? Y'all from Brownsville, y'all know what I'm talking about. It leads from East New York and it takes you into Brownsville. So we gets onto this. We getting on, okay? And he's driving. He's like putting speed on the car. Once we get to the very top and it's time to come down on this thing, the hood on the front of this car, y'all, flies up. It just goes boom and like hits the windshield. I'm like, oh my God, what is that? What's going on? What's going on? He's like,
Oh shit! Oh shit!
he's swerving. He's like,
I can't see. I can't see.
I'm like, neither can I. I can't see neither. Like the whole windshield, y'all. The windshield was busted. Like once that thing hit the windshield, done. Windshield was busted. Okay. The hood was still on the windshield. So I'm like, step on the brakes, like stop the car. He's
I don't know what's in front of me. I don't know what's in front of me. I don't know if somebody's behind me.
So I rolls the window down and I sticks my head out. And it's the people that's on the side, they like,
Slow down, step on the brakes, nobody.
so he's stepping on the brakes. And it's this guy and this lady.
Go to the side. Go to the side. Put your hazard lights on.
So that's what he did. When they go in front of us, they put their hazard light. They try to see what the fuck is going on. So this man automatically says,
This is your fault. This is your fault. You ain't even tell me. You didn't even tell me that the hood, that I didn't put the wire back on the hood.
I'm like, I didn't tell you to put the, buddy, I didn't even know that you took the motherfucking wire off.
What you mean? I got an oil change. I got an oil change.
Well, that's their fault. They were supposed to put the wire back on, correct? They the ones that took it off. So I'm like, you know what? I can get out the car and I can go to fuck home. I can walk because I know where I'm at now. So the guy's
It's like, no, calm down. It's nobody's fault. It's nobody's fault. It's a freak accident.
this is what the man is saying. He's helping Richard put this wire back onto the car. The wire was still hanging, y'all, on the hood. It was still hanging, like dangling. So they pull it down or whatever. The windshield's done. The windshield is cooked. He's like,
Damn, look at my windshield. Look at my windshield. What the fuck, man? What the fuck?
so I'm just like, something is not right. Something is really, really weird going on here. So, y'all, I didn't want to get back in this car. But I got in, okay? I got back in the car. Somehow, some way, I managed to convince him, let me out at the top of Rockaway Avenue. I'm going to walk home. I'm going to walk home. I'm going to walk back to Crown Heights from here. Or I'm going to just go to my mother's house because she's right there. So Richard was
Like, oh, now you want to leave. Now you want to leave. You don't want to be in the car because the car look fucked up.
buddy, I was in the car from the jump when the way this look on my side, okay? Before the whole windshield got tore up. What are you talking about? So I did just that. I got out the car and I started walking, I start trooping. I goes to my mother's house because, like I said, I'm in the Ville. I'm in Brownsville. I'm on Rockaway. I walk down to the Jacks, walk to my mother's house, and my mother had just got home too. So she's like,
What's going on? Where you coming from?
I was just with Richard and, the hood on the car. I'm just telling her everything that took place. And my mother is like, so my sister says,
The car sound like it's got some juju on it. Like something's wrong. Like where did he get the car from?
so I'm like, he got it from a friend, a homie. So my mother was like,
don't get back in that car, because if something keeps going wrong with it, it's something. It's either him or it's the car. It's one of the two, or maybe both.
I ended up taking the cab home. When I get home, Richard is sitting in front of my building. He's like,
It took you that long to get up here? Like, where you went? What you was doing?
I went to my mother's house. Why are you here? Shouldn't you be at the insurance place or car place or something?
No, I'm trying to make sure you made it home. Say, I'm trying to make sure you all right. Like, I know you startled, whatever.
Bro, and then you want to blame me for the reason that this shit is going on with your car. Like, it's not me. Every time something go wrong with your car, you want to blame me. Like, I don't got time for all that. I don't want to get back into your car. So he's
like, nah, like I just panicked. When I panic, I say crazy my bad.
So I'm like, no, I'm good, because this is not the first time you did this. So I go ahead and I goes in my house, all right? And I guess he sat outside for a little while because my neighbor said she's still seeing him sitting out there. So let's go ahead and fast forward. It's the following week, y'all. I'm in Brownsville. I happens to see Jenny again at the pharmacy and with my mother. My mother's picking up her medicine. Jenny walks in with her son. So she's like,
hey girl, what's going on?
So I'm like, hey, what's up?
Yeah, just getting my son his asthma medicine. Like, his asthma's just flaring up.
Like, she's just telling me about her son. I'm like, oh yeah, I can relate. I understand.
You still with that Richard dude? Cause I'm my cousin said she seen you with him the other day, and I was just wondering, not trying to be in business or nothing.
So I'm like, yeah, we still together, Why, what's going on?
Yeah, Richard is the one that bought the car from my sister.
So I'm like, oh, so your sister knows Richard?
Like, yeah, they used to date.
I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like, I wouldn't say date, like, they just used to mess around with it.
So I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't know that. So, okay. I took that cup of hot tea and I stuck that in my briefcase, okay? My mother's talking to her too, because my mother knew her. Like, we used to live in the same building or whatever. So once she leaves out of the pharmacy after she got her son's medicine, we still sitting and wait for the rest of my mother's medicine. My mother is like,
so Richard used to go with her sister.
Because my mother knows all of them. So I'm like, that's what she said. So, y'all, I sends Richard a text and I'm just like, ever speak to the girl about the title for the car? Like, did you ever hit her up? Did she ever answer the phone? So Richard was like, yeah, I called her, whatever. She finally answered. She said that when she gets some time, she would go the car lot, wherever she got the car from, and see if she can get the title or whatever bullshit lie he told. So I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, he goes, why? What happened? I'm like, it's just a small world. Laugh out loud. This is what my response was. He's like, what that mean? What you mean? So I'm like, this is a small world. And then he calls my phone.
What are you talking about?
I'm like, it's a small world. This girl that you bought, this homie that you bought this car from, you used to fuck with her. It's just complete silence on the phone.
Where you get that from?
Well, buddy, I grew up with her and her sisters. It's like 7 of them. We all grew up together in the same motherfucking building. Okay, my mother and her mother was close friends. And her sister, one of her sisters told me the whole situation that went down. You bought this car from her ex-wigger that was unalived, her baby father, whatever. That's how you got this car. So he's like,
well, since you think you know everything, I guess something like that. I gotta go though, because I don't got time for this shit.
This is exactly what he said. So we hung up. I'm telling my mother, and my mother is like,
I don't know, but it's really not good to buy a person's car that is deceased. It's not good to buy a deceased person's car.
So it's like a myth, like, I guess a folklore, whatever they call it. But is this something that my mother and father used to always say? You're not really supposed to buy a deceased person's vehicle. I never knew why. Okay, so I always just made sure I bought vehicles off the car lots. Okay, I go to these dealerships and just get cars from there. But I'm just like, damn, okay, maybe that's what's going on. Like, maybe that's how Rich is having all these problems with this car. So, y'all, this same exact day, Richard calls my phone, and I'm noticing he kept calling my phone. I'm mad at him. So I'm like, I'm not answering that fucking phone. Like, I'm not answering this call. Now, he finally leaves a voicemail and says,
yo, I'm trying to call your phone. Some crazy shit just happened to me. Like, I need somebody to talk to. Nobody wants to answer their phone.
So I call him back. I'm like, yeah. He's like,
Hey man, I was driving and my motherfucking wheel came off. Like my tire just came off. The tire just came off on a motherfucking highway, on the Belt Parkway.
so I'm like, what?
Yeah, man, like this shit's crazy. I'm sitting here right now. Then I had to pay for towing. I had to pay for fucking towing.
I don't know, y'all. To this very day, I don't understand because, to my knowledge, tires is held on with bolts, and they gotta be put on really tight with that air gun, like droop droop. You know what I'm talking about? So I'm just like, I don't know. I really don't know. So I told my mother what's going on. My mother is
Like, see, stay the fuck out of that car. Stay the fuck away from Richard.
My mother couldn't stand Richard. I already told you that. My mother could not stand this man. Okay. This night, y'all, I goes home after I'm done hanging out with my mother and I stopped and I got me some Chinese food. So I'm just sitting there, like I'm tearing this Chinese food up, like tearing it up. I'm at my little dining table tearing it up. I'm eating, watching TV. I got the iced tea, the big ass iced tea in a cup, which I would not mind having one of those right now. But yeah, I'm tearing this food up. So once I'm done, I go and I shower. I goes and I just lays across my bed, looking on Facebook or whatever, looking on MySpace, just chilling. Here, keys at my door. It's Richard coming in. When he comes in, he would always do like this. He would look over, around the wall, okay? I guess to be slick. Whatever he was trying to do up his sleeve. So he looks around the wall. He's like,
oh, you going home?
So I'm like, yeah. What's up?
Like nothing?
And it's probably like 11 o'clock at night too, y'all, okay? It was getting late. So Richard goes to the kitchen. He's got them St. I beers. I remember the beers I told y'all about in one of the story times. He's got one of those because he used to always try and make me sit and drink these nasty ass beers with him, okay? So he's got these St. I's beers, the purple looking one. He puts it in the refrigerator and I hear the garbage can. Like I hear the bag that he has. I hear that. So I'm like, oh, he must be throwing the bag in the trash. But I still hear the garbage. So he just yells and says,
oh, we just had Chinese food. We just had Chinese food. You had Golden Crust the other day. Then you had McDonald's. Like, Wiggins is eating. You sitting here eating. You eating without me. Like, I don't understand.
So I'm like, what? What the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Oh, you had motherfucking, you had Chinese food. You had Chinese food.
Yeah. It's dinner time. Like, I wanted Chinese food. What's the problem? I'm lost here.
All right. You know what? I'm leaving. I don't even want to be here. I don't even want to be here. Like, Wiggins is eating. Wiggins buying food and shit and eating.
So I'm like, wait a minute. You're mad because I'm eating? Because I'm eating food? Like, I'm lost here. You don't want me to eat?
You could have waited for me to come. But did you wait? No, you didn't wait. Like, I don't get it. You ain't want to wait.
So I'm like, what the fuck is your problem? And why are you, every time you come here, you going in my fucking garbage can? Like, it's not making sense to me.
Go ahead, do you. Like, I'm going up to IHOP.
Bye, go to IHOP then. Who gives a fuck? So he takes his St. I's beers, take both of them, and he leaves. So I'm just like, yo, like this dude is bugged out. He's getting an attitude because I had Chinese food. And he starts naming all the other foods that he's seen, the stuff in the trash can. Like, he wants me to sit until he gets to my house. And sometimes he would get to my house and late, y'all, like midnight, 11 p.m., 1, 2, 3 in the morning. You want me to sit all these motherfucking hours waiting for you to come around me so we can eat? You got me, listen, you got me fucked up. You really do. So I'm just like, yo, like this dude is crazy. Sassy's sitting on, and Sassy didn't like him either. Sassy's sitting on the bed like, so y'all, we're gonna go ahead and fast forward one more time. I think I gave y'all a glimpse of it in the Halloween series. Me and Richard had got into this big ass argument because I had found some ills in like the cushion of my chair. I had like this little comfy chair in my in my living space. If I didn't want to sit on my bed or it's for my guests. I'm just vacuuming, like I'm sweeping, vacuuming, cleaning up, and I found ills in the chair. So I'm just like, what the fuck is this? So I guess I still had the same friends at this time. I goes to the my group chat with my friends. I'm like, y'all, what type of ills is this? Did anybody drop this in at my house? So Maribel was like, no, nobody takes ills over here unless it's Tylenol, or whatever. But those look like bars. So I'm just like, well, I found these. I found them in my chair. So she's like, no, that's, Tika's like, no, it doesn't belong to us. Tangi said, everybody's saying the same thing. So Maribel was just like, what about Richie? What about Richie Rich? Like, that's what she would call him different names like that. What about Richie Rich? So I'm like, you know what? It's a good idea. I am going to ask him because he has been over here a lot lately. So I takes a picture again of it, y'all, and I sends it to Richard's phone. And I'm just like, is this yours? Richard automatically calls my phone.
Where you get those from?
They was in my chair. I took the cushion up out of my chair. They was in my chair.
I mean, if they did belong to me, what is it to you?
This is his exact response. I'm just asking if it's yours. Because if I'll hold them for you, but now I'm going to throw them in the fucking trash since you want to have a smart mouth.
I'm on my way to your house anyway.
So he gets there to the house, y'all, and he's asking for the ills. So I showed it to him because I had it wrapped up in a little paper towel.
Yeah, those are mine.
So I'm like, so you taking these now?
Like, I was, giving them out for somebody.
So I'm like, that's not making sense. That's not making sense at all. But yeah, come to find out, y'all, he was taking the ills, okay? And that's how he got into the first accident, all right? So me and Richard got into this big ass argument, y'all, okay? This big ass argument because Richard used to, like I said, he used to try to gaslight me a lot, okay? And it was a lot of reactive abuse going on. Now, Richard would have these little fake little MySpace accounts, and he would be on that with like different females or whatever. He would just do things to get my reaction, y'all, okay? And then when I would go the off, like just go Willy Bobo.
Oh, you overreacting? Like, you need to calm down. Something's wrong with you. Like, you're crazy. You need to go to the G building. Like, this don't make no sense. You need to grow up, this, that, and the third.
But he would just keep doing it all day long until I would actually go off. He would do that with women, though.
This girl was trying to talk to me. I told her, leave me alone. I mean, she kept following me down the block. So I finally just got in and gave her my phone number. So, yeah, if she happens to call, you happen to see a chick texting my phone or calling my phone, that's the girl. You probably just curse her out if she calls.
It would be stuff like that, y'all, okay? We got into this big argument regarding a situation like that, right? And I took my lamp and threw it at him. Like, I just threw it at him. The lamp went past him, and he was like,
yeah, I'm out of here.
He left. So that's when I got the phone call regarding him and his little car accident. So Richard went around all over the place saying that I was the reason why he got into that car accident, okay? Car caught on fire and everything with him inside of it, and he couldn't get out because of seatbelt and all that. He tried to blame me for that too, y'all, okay? But the problem was this car was cursed, all right? I don't care what nobody says. I really feel like that car was cursed, and probably him too. Like I said, like my mother said, both parties, him and the car, was cursed. So now this car is done. The car is finito, finego. It's finished. It's done because it had burnt up. So this whole entire time, I'm the blame. Every time Richard would call my phone, it would be,
it's your fault. It's your fault. Ever since you stepped foot into my car.
And this, and this. And I'm just like, buddy, shit was going wrong with that motherfucking car before you came over to me for me to get inside the car. Like, what are you talking about? So after 2 weeks of us beefing about his car that's now deceased, okay, he comes to the house and he's got a car rental. He's got a rental now, all right? So he's like, oh, let's go to IHOP. I'm like, nope, I'm not getting no more cars with you because I don't know what the fuck you got going on. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know anything and don't want to know.
So you don't want to go to IHOP?
He just went all the way around with everything that I said.
So you don't want to go to IHOP? No. I bet you them stupid bitches over here, you go to IHOP with them.
Yeah. Yes, I would. I would. So y'all, Richard goes to my kitchen and he's looking in my trash can again. He's looking around.
Oh, so you ain't eat today. You sure you don't want to go to IHOP? You ain't eat today.
So I'm like, are you in my garbage can again? Like, what is it with you? Should you work for sanitation? You're obsessed with trash now. Like, I'm lost here. So y'all, he ends up leaving. He left and goes wherever the fuck he was going, and we just kept beefing. We kept beefing for a whole month and a half behind that car. Behind me eating food without him, or just eating in general. And him with the women. Okay, oh, this girl, this, and this, and this, and this. And then he wanted to involve his aunt again. Every time me and Richard would get into it, Richard would involve his aunt. And I noticed once his aunt met me is when she would start getting involved. She would want to come to the house and talk, or she would call my phone. I mean, respectfully, Richard is a grown ass man, okay? Like, Richard is grown. Richard was 10 years older than me, okay? And at this current time, I probably was like 21 or 22 years old, and Richard was 10 years older than me. I'm just confused as to why every time me and Richard get into it, you're on my phone, or you're on my intercom, or you're at my building. You are somewhere trying to help him out of the bullshit that he put himself in. It's just not making sense. This is why he does the shit that he does. This is a mess, okay? It was a mess. So yeah, Richard's car, gone. Rental car, he didn't keep that long. He was still working at this stank place, still doing sneaky, ridiculous, sloppy okay? Still coming to my house, bothering me. Still had his aunt coming to bother me whenever me and him got into it. And he was still taking the ills, all right? So that's the end of this story time, because somebody had asked, all right? And I have another Richard story time coming up. Y'all gonna like it. Y'all probably gonna talk shit in the comments. I don't care. But hey, he deserved it, all right? So this is the end of this story time. If you like this story time, give this video a thumbs up and leave some comments. If you didn't like this story time, give this video a thumbs up. You don't have to leave a comment. If you don't like this video, click out and leave. I don't need your comments. Damn, like, learn. Sometimes opinions is not needed. So yeah, y'all. Shout out to the KKG. Shout out to the Candy Cane Gang. Shout out to the new members that click the subscribe button. Once you hit that button, you automatically become a family member of mine. You automatically become a part of the Candy Cane Gang. All right? Point blank and period, straight to the point. So with that being said, wherever you at in this crazy ass world, and yes, this world is crazy, look to the motherfucker in front of you and tell them, it's this girl on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? You really need to check her out. They're gonna be like,
oh, I don't really watch YouTube.
Yo, you really need to check it out. So don't forget.
Don't forget what?
Don't forget to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell another friend, to tell another friend, to tell another motherfucking friend that the cane is on the fucking tube. Peace. I love y'all.
Avalanche etching like I'm rolling snowballs, saying no pressure when the pressure's still on. It be a cold day in hell for I let you slide on me, ride on me, now that ain't what's up. It be a cold day in hell for you ever see me weak.